Now to what some are calling the main event. Have you ever wondered what a horse with hair extensions would look like? No? Well, Australian photographer Julian Wolkenstein did, and he captured it all on film. Meredith Vieira sat down with Julian earlier this morning and began by asking whatever gave him the idea to photograph these horses.
Well, I do a lot of collaborations with people. I'm a commercial photographer, so I work for advertising agencies. So I have a lot of exposure to creative people. And one of the people that I do a lot of work with and quite a few personal projects with, a guy called Micah Walker. We were talking one day and he said, hey, you know, wouldn't it be great, wouldn't it be really funny to do some shots of horses, but with big hairstyles, sort of pony pin-up, if you want to call it that.
A pony pinup, but not easy to do, Julian. I understand it took a full day shooting for each horse, 4 hours in hair and makeup. Describe the process for us.
Well, you know, not so many people have taken photos of horses with big hair, so we really had no idea what we were going to get into. You know, on most shoots, you would go out and you would be able to do a couple of shots a day, and hair and makeup on a person might take 2 or 3 hours. But with horses, you know, we just assumed maybe a little bit more, but obviously we were completely wrong. So we did a couple of test days, which we were hoping would be actual final shots, but they ended up being tests because one of them was a complete disaster and the other one was partially a disaster, so we called them tests. But what ended up happening is we realized that we needed a full day to do it, because each horse would take about 4 hours of hairstyling. Acacio Pezzutti da Silva, who's a great hair and makeup person who I was working with in London at the time, he kind of made it technically happen. He found a way to fix the extensions into the horse's hair without hurting them, and each horse took about 4 hours of grooming, so it was very intense for everyone. And the time of year we shot it was very cold. It was almost the middle of winter. There was ice on the ground. Acacio was working in a large barn with no heating.
Yeah, I'm amazed these horses put up with this.
Oh, the horses loved it. Are you kidding? I think they had a great time. They loved the grooming and they loved being fawned over and everything. I mean, you know, the flashlights, probably not. They didn't like them as much. And also, you know, they had to stand in a very specific spot so that the lighting would be right. And it was a long process to even get that right, let alone the making them stand on the mark.
Yeah,
so,
Julian, I know the
horses were great.
I know this was a personal project for you. You weren't doing this for anybody else.
Yep.
Just to kind of remind yourself why you do what you do, to bring back the joy of photography.
Yeah.
So in that sense, a real success.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. I mean, you know, to not have this on the back of a client where other people are making decisions, where it's a labour of love and everyone puts so much time and effort into it, and yeah, everyone walks away happy. You know, it was a hard shoot and everyone worked very hard in pretty trying conditions, but everyone came out of it very happy. And you know, I made it as much as possible an enjoyable process for the people who were involved. So.
Well, Julian,
it was good.
And that was Meredith with Australian photographer Julian Wolkenstein.